May I present to you Exhibit A, Batman the Animated Series, which premiered way back in 1992 on Fox Kids. It features super cool Art Deco and film noir inspired art direction with methodically paced storytelling interspersed with clear dynamic action sequences. And on my left, Exhibit B, Amazon's Invincible, a show about a superhero teenager who comes of age and discovers his superhero powers, and along with his superhero dad, encounter evil alien forces from around the universe. Whatever! It's a generic looking show with stiff-ass animation, lame cheap looking action sequences, and boring, nonsensical writing with a budget blown on annoyingly dull, fancy-ass Hollywood actors. So I, Fritter, your favorite master cartoonist of the YouTubes, will fix Invincible, redrawing the characters in the style it was meant to be. Funny! Wait, was Invincible meant to look funny? Okay, I mean I'll draw it like Batman the Animated Series. How about both? Yes! Let's just make Invincible look good, okay? Alright, Batman versus Invincible. So before I start doodling my own take on the show, I want to fix this, awful drawing, which is amazingly also the promo art. The name of the game here is streamlining. What that means is simplifying the design, down to what is important. All these extra bumps and lumps and bulges, they might work in comic books, but they don't work in animation. They're distracting in my mind. Yeah, they just don't look good. This drawing, man, it looks like they're both floating. Look at Invincible's legs. And look at how their legs, overlap each other. Oh, come on, why? Look, I draw funny cartoons, not this superhero crap. But that's the beauty of learning the basic principles of cartooning. It applies to all styles. In Batman, there's a lot of straights against curves and angles and corners, a design language, if you will. Batman the Animated Series follows tried and true cartoon principles, like using shapes to draw, strong silhouettes, line of action, and more. The sad thing about Invincible is it is trying to do all this, but it's failing. Okay, now let's just draw. And if you're saying Batman is graphic, then yes, you're right. Batman's designs are graphic, heavily influenced by cartoons from the 50s and 60s, from studios like Hanna-Barbera, UPA. These studios invented animation for TV. The smarty pants in charge knew the old ways of full animation were expensive, and now with TV, animation had to be done fast and cheap so that it could air weekly. No more taking months and months to animate 6 minutes. Now, does this mean animation in the TV era was bad? Well, yeah, it was. The studios knew this would happen, so instead of focusing on animation, they focused on designs. Designs that would look great standing still as hell drawings. These new limited animation designs could also be handled by many animators, and yes, eventually overseas animators, to bring a consistent look to the cartoons. In my opinion, I like when every scene looks like it's animated by someone different, but hey, you can't get everything. But even in limited animation, sometimes you still could tell who animated what. If you've been following my channel, you know that I'm influenced by Hanna-Barbera and limited animation from that era, but my roots are in the old Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. Even if you don't like the Batman the Animated Series style, you gotta understand that show follows the principles that make up well-designed cartooning. How many times do I have to say it? So back to Invincible here. Let's draw him without the costume. He's a high schooler. Why not draw him like that? No. Let's make him look super basic. A total snooze fest. Give him no character whatsoever. Well, I'm gonna give him a big bad teenage mustache. He is Omni-Man's kid after all. Some zits. Before he gets his powers, he's a bit of a dork, a pushover, you know? Alright, let's fix up Omni-Man here. One of the things that bugs me the most about these designs, and for like lack of a better word, they are generic. There is nothing pushed. Zero. Not in animation, not in the designs. At first when I saw this show, saw the ads and everything, I thought it was like a kid show from the 90s, like Captain Planet or something. It's so safe looking. I was waiting for them to start shaking hands and hugging, talking about recycling. So Omni-Man, he's like a macho dad type. Let's try to put that into the design. He's got to stick up his butt. And obviously the show sucks, but I can't fix everything. I can't fix the writing, so I'm only talking about the designs and animation here. Because even if you have a superhero show on TV, limited animation or realistic human-like proportions, it can still look good. I think today we know that. That's why this show is so extra frustrating. Maybe they were going for like 70s Herculoids or Space Ghost, like Alex Toth type stuff. But those cartoons had a style. Yeah, Alex Toth style. I'm sure the budget on Invincible is like pretty good. Someone show me the receipts. Oh, okay, we got some receipts right here. Okay, let's see. Flipping through receipts. $1 million to have J.K. Simmons read some lines, and the voice lands up sounding like they pulled anyone off the street to do it? Seriously? I like J.K. Simmons, he's great. Okay, incoming. Here comes my rant about modern cartoon voice acting. You can thank Disney in a little-known movie called Aladdin. I mean, celebrities have been voicing animated characters forever, but when Robin Williams voiced the genie, it was like a cultural phenomenon. Robin Williams was getting like more credit than anyone who worked on that movie. I think it changed voice acting forever. DreamWorks pretty much made a whole business out of this. They started putting the actors' names on the movie posters. Like, that's why people want to see animated movies. Ugh. And what do I know? I guess it worked. But most Hollywood big shot actors don't get cartoon voice acting. They don't understand how to project their voice, they don't do other voices or characters, their sense of timing and rhythm is usually awful, they just read the lines and go home. They do themselves. And there's rare exceptions like Mike Myers voicing Shrek. So with Invincible, is like anyone amused by Seth Rogen voicing yet another character that sounds like, get this, Seth Rogen? But fritter, big-time Hollywood actor Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series. Yes, he sure was, and he did an incredible job. Iconic, even. But Mark Hamill just didn't show up and read some lines. He approached it as if he was the Joker in a movie. He threw his voice. He pushed the performance. And yeah, Mark Hamill also does a voice in Invincible, but come on, nothing will beat his Joker. Why is Invincible so over-the-top violent? I ain't no prude, but there should be a point to the gory violence. A message? Violence should have a meaning. Gratuitous violence can be okay if that's the point you're trying to make, sure. It's tricky, but whatever. I mean, here in animation, seeing someone's head getting ripped off and there's a geyser of blood isn't interesting at all. You wanna know why? Because it's animation. If it's live action, okay, but in animation you can imagine anything. Now, of course, animation, live action, these days, those lines are blurred. But still, when it comes to violence, there should be something behind it. This show has none of that. Shock value? It's not shocking. Again, it's animation. If you want to do violence and crazy gore and shock value violence in animation, it has to be over the top in creative ways, like Mortal Kombat was back in the day. I know, Mortal Kombat, not the best reference. But seriously, that was hilarious and kind of thrilling. The violence in this show is just stuff I would see in any action movie, maybe dialed up a notch, but yeah, boring and pointless. If you're doing violence in animation, make it crazy. Hey, like what you see? Don't like what you see? Then like and subscribe. Subs give me the power to make more videos. Yes, power. And leave a comment down below too. There's way too many videos out there about drawing seriously. Ugh. So subbing supports the channel and you'll also be supporting stupid cartoony drawings. So come on, do the clicks. Anywho, let's get back to talking about drawing. Adam Eve, popular girl at school, which means she's gotta be bitchy. Sorry to all the popular girls watching this video. Yeah, right. Popular always seems to equal pretty. Well, F that. In high school, no one is pretty. If you're in high school and you're watching this video, when you go back to school, look around you. Even the super popular kids are covered in zits and have weird hairs popping out of weird places. I never went to high school, so I'm just assuming here, I guess. One of my most valued treasures is this Art of Batman the Animated Series book. Let's just look at some of the beautiful work that went into this thing. Look at this line of action. Art Deco. Storyboards. On paper. It's a superhero show, but the staging is clear, clear, clear. The acting and poses are clear and dynamic at the same time. How? Because of the rules of the designs. Those principles of basic cartooning that I mentioned earlier, putting thought into everything. Not just having characters standing around, medium close-up cut, medium close-up cut. No! Phew, I needed that. Okay, back to drawing. Alright, Robot. Oh boy, the names on this show. Fantastic. I hope someone got paid overtime for this one. Haha, whatever. Strangely, this is not the first robot character just named Robot. If you know the other ones, let me know down below in the comments. So what makes Batman's characters look the way they do compared to, say, Invincible? I got into this a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's those annoying cartoon principles I always talk about. Shapes, line of action, and silhouettes. I made videos about all of these things, so check out the links down below if you want to know even more. But very briefly, shapes make up the overall design. Interesting shapes lead to interesting characters. Play with the sizes too. Shapes always make things so much easier for the animators to move too. Batman has a super stiff line of action. That's no accident. He's strong and imposing. He's confident. The line of action will give the characters balance and make them feel grounded, even if they're flying. Silhouettes mean that if I blacked out a pose of the character, the pose is still readable. This ensures that the audience can tell what the F is going on. I think Invincible doesn't have too much of a problem here, but with Batman, the designs and the silhouettes work together. Look, I'm gonna be straight up honest with all of you. I had no idea who this kid was because I didn't make it that far in the show. At first I thought there were some pregnancies going on, Invincible and Adam Eve. Hey! But for the sake of drawing something a little different in this video, we'll draw a kid. I figured, yeah, let's draw this kid, Omni-Man, or Omni-Kid, Kid Omni-Man, what's his name? Even though I have no idea who he is. Wait, yes I do. I'm reading the wiki right now. Got it. So the kid's name is Oliver Grayson. Where have I heard that name before? Yep, ripped off from Batman. Dick Grayson was the OG Robin. Whatever, you know, that's the least of our problems. I'm getting worn out and too tired to rant about that. No, F that, come on, seriously? Just change one letter. One stupid letter and you have a different name. K, Grayson. How about deleting a letter? Rayson. Change the color gray to Redson? I don't know. Ugh. Breathe, Fritter, breathe. Okay, look, he's just a dumb kid, so let's just draw him like that. 10 years old. And if you're saying, but Fritter, Invincible is a parody of all superhero comics, you ding-dong. No. What's the parody? Where's the exaggeration? Self-awareness? This is not a parody. It's just a lame attempt at a superhero show. And they tried following the comic probably too closely and tried making the designs just like the comic. Ugh, lame. This show is just a ripoff of tried and true ideas instead of mixing things up enough and being clever. Alien the Alien. Yep, another sweet name. Which Harvard-educated writer thought of this one? I think I'm just missing the point at this point. Yeah, and I like naming characters stupid names too. But come on, man. Ah yes, and voiced by the hilarious Seth Rogen. I actually don't mind Seth Rogen. He is actually a great writer, and although I'm not into the weed humor. Anyway, gonna draw Alien like Seth Rogen. I know the comic came first and then the show, but what if Alien? Yeah, he looked like Seth Rogen. High all the time. Don't do drugs, kids. So in Batman the Animated Series, let's talk about the art direction quickly, which means like the overall like art style of the show, not just the characters. Yeah, mainly how there actually was art direction. There was a focus. The artists were inspired by the old Fleischer Superman cartoons, film noir movies, and of course, Art Deco. The art direction on Invincible was inspired by... I have no clue. All the colors are bright and evenly lit, nothing is dramatic, nothing is interesting. What even is it? It's like the most basic of basic art direction. Is the comic book to blame? No, because I believe you're free to change styles from comic to screen. Seriously, just look at Batman the Animated Series. They did it. It was a masterclass. And maybe the Invincible comic looks cool, and I just gotta give it a chance, but no way because I hate it! Oh boy, that was painful. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna lie down and cry. I know this video wasn't all silly cartoony drawings, but instead I wanted to show you good animation design isn't just about silly cartoons. That no matter what the genre, superheroes in this case, good basic cartooning principles must be used. See you next time, my fancy fellow followers.